very good evening to one and all present here today. It's a pleasure to meet you all through Zoom and through Facebook Live. Hope you go through the session and enjoy that along with all of us right here at Collins. It's my privilege to introduce the resource person for today. Mr. Jyoti Parakh has taught for 25 years all over the country in leading residential and day scholar schools. Till 2014, he was with the Heritage School in Gurgaon. He then embarked on an adventure of becoming a workshop facilitator for teachers and students. He has delivered science teaching enrichment workshops to more than 100 schools across the country. He has conducted science workshops for government school students under the aegis of Kusuma Foundation in UP and Odisha. He is an accredited teacher developer trained by the Royal School of Chemistry. It's our privilege. Let's all meet Mr. Jyoti Parakh. Sir, it's all yours.
Good evening. Welcome to the hands-on online workshop. It's unique in one sense. Usually hands-on activity we do offline, directly showing, but thanks to coronavirus, we now can do online. So I suggested and given a list, if you have the things, we can go online, where at the same time, you can also carry on doing that at your home, at your own pace, but best if you can coordinate or give the questions, whatever arises when you are doing it, so that we can solve right here. So I'm shifting my camera setting into something where lab setup is there, and we will just a second. Yeah, and we will go online with the activity. First activity, before we start the activity, let me tell you, any activity when you see in any activity when you see in net or anywhere, it seems to be very easy until you do yourself. And when you do, when you do, you will find some activity needs precise condition. So I suggest whenever you see any activity like arvindguptatoys.com or anywhere, it seems to be very easy, but until you do yourself, don't go in the class or don't go live. Now, whenever we do any activity, the thickness of wire, the condition of the butter, these things also very, very important. I learned in a difficult way. Once in the activity, I told them to keep butter. I remember in the end moment when butter, I said, where is butter? They got it from freezer. It was so hard, so I could not perform the experiment. So next time when I went somewhere, I told them, don't keep it in freeze. They kept it outside. It was hot summer and we were doing that in the 4th floor on the very near to the roof. And ultimately when I gone to that activity, I found butter become ghee, could not perform. So even these small conditions matter. So basically I am doing a simple activity about adaptation. Now, adaptation itself is not very easy to show because adaptation takes time, years or years, millions of years time. So what I found is easy way is, suppose we got lots of ice in one beaker and some more in another beaker. Okay, if you want, I can have. another color for the benefit of you. So both, is it, I think, visible? So we got, both of them have water and lots of ice. It's very cold. You can imagine, I can test also. This is not necessary for you to test, but I can test and find that it is very near to zero. It's not exactly zero, but very near to zero. It is 2 about. Now, what I will do is, I will show cold adaptation. For that, we need lots of butter, which is a little slimy sort of, I mean, not very dissolved totally. So I kept it outside, and here you can use spoon, etc. But ultimately you have to put hand, so better you do by hand. So I have 2 fingers. In one of the finger, I am keeping the butter such a way that not a single part, not a millimeter part of my skin is visible. So this is butter I'm putting on my left finger. You will see opposite because of the camera. Nail is some place where it does not come properly. So you have to take care that below the nail, the skin where it may not stay properly, you have to do it taking care. So the whole place is full with butter. Actually, we call it blubber in case of a well. So it's very easy to do, very easy to acquire. Whenever you got freeze, you can get ice. So now I got 2 fingers, one finger full with fat all around it, about say 4 or 5 millimeter thick, another finger nothing. Now I am putting 2 fingers in both of these here. Yeah, 5. It's 5. Both of these I am putting 2 fingers. Now, if you see time, within few seconds, I mean hardly 2-3 seconds happen. 5 seconds, this finger is becoming numb. If I keep too much, it will have frostbite. It will start killing the cells. I could not keep more than this. So it's too cold. So my finger is not adapted to it. So my nerve is getting that, and nerve is removing its prolongation from that, and the blood also removing the distribution. Slowly cells start becoming numb. After numb, even if then I cannot remove it, it start dying. So it seems to be frostbite happens after an hour or so in ice. But you see here, there is no effect. I can keep hours. There is no effect. Just I can't feel it. A little I am feeling on the tip of the finger, which I said difficult to put. But otherwise, there is just no effect. So we can come to the conclusion of this adaptation activity. You see, this little part where very little could be kept. Otherwise, here there is no effect. You can keep forever. I'm not saying forever, means. But so this is one of the activity of adaptation. Next, sorry. So, yeah, boiling water. Boiling water in the tripod stand. Ready करो ready केना ready सफर के बला है बात करो ठीक करो क्या पेपर का काम मोमबत्ती डाल कौन से Okay, so you see adaptation, especially in the cold area, the seal, polar bear, or many other animals have a very thick fat. And why this fat is, you can now guess.
So, should we take answers, sir?
Yeah, you can take. You show the questions to them.
Yes. So these are the questions, and yes, these are the points to ponder. And we would like to see if we get any answers from both Facebook and as well as.
Can one of you read the questions for them?
Yes. So the first question is, another great insulator of the animal world is fur. Not just sheep, nearly all land animals in cold climate actually use fur to protect themselves from cold. So why do marine animals not use that way of fighting cold? So the question here is, why do marine animals not use fur for fighting cold? Any answers? So just waiting for answers.
Yeah, also polar animals.
Yes.
Like whale, like polar bear, like seal.
So we are looking for answers to the first question. Why do polar and marine animals not use fur to fight cold? Because, sir, so we are getting some answers on Facebook.
Yeah, can you tell? Answer?
Yes, some people say fur gets wet. The other answers, lot of answers, in fact. Air acts as insulator because they have blubber. They have a fat disposition, and
so yes,
fur makes aquatic animals heavy.
Wet is the correct answer.
Yes.
I thought should I wait some more time?
No, you can give the answer, sir. You can give the answer because we have two other questions also.
Gets wet. That is the correct answer.
Okay. Fur gets wet is the correct answer.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we cannot have fur, whatever going in water, like seal or whale or any aquatic animal. So, but polar bear we found both is there. They have fur as well as fat body. And first answer is correct, that fat, we call it blubber. In whale we got about a meter thick of blubber throughout the body to insulate their body, especially blue whale. That is why Japanese were very interested to kill them because one whale could run a factory for about a month. But blue whales are reducing, so we should be very cautious, and now it's totally bad. Blue whale, the largest animal in the world, is still few of them found in South Pole, near South Pole. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for that answer, sir. It was really answer that I never thought of. So thank you so much. The second question is, fat is not just used for cold adaptation. It is used for desert adaptation by camels. Can you say why and how?
Good.
So looking for answers for the second question, please. The second question is on screen. So answer for the second question. So I'm repeating the second question. The second question is, fat is not just used for cold adaptation. It is also used for desert adaptation by camels. Can you say why and how? So any answers? So we are getting a lot of answers for the first question. Looking for answers for the second.
Second question is very interesting.
Sir, so we got an answer here. Camels use fats in adverse conditions when food is not available.
Okay.
Their thick skin prevents loss of fluids from the body.
Okay.
Fat is stored as reserve food.
Correct.
And fat is an insulator that doesn't allow heat to transfer. That's from Ms. Rohi Sharma. So these are the various questions. In camels, fat metabolism helps in production of water as a byproduct.
Yeah, who was it?
That's Ms. Surbhi Chavan.
Okay, Talia. Great. Very good answer.
Congratulations, Ms. Surbhi. Yes.
Okay.
So can you explain, sir?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my drawing is not very good. Can you see? There is a camel I tried to draw.
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
So I'll just unshare the screen so that we can see you better. Yes.
Yeah. So the camel which I have drawn has hump, which many person thought initially that hump has water. Even we know that in desert when people were without water, some of them thought this camel has hump, so they killed the camel to drink the water and found nothing. Found only fat. So yes, this is the fat which metabolized strangely 1 gram fat gives 1.2 gram of water. Is it possible? So,
yes, we can see it. Yes.
Surbhi Sharma has said this.
Yes, sir.
Surbhi, can you explain? Can you see me? Can you explain why? Is it possible? And how? Others can note that camel do not have water or food. So when camel is going in desert for a month, it does not carry tiffin and water like our babies going to the school. They have only fat in their body and they can easily metabolize it into water as well as energy. Fat stores maximum energy. Yeah, as Surbhi has not come back, let me explain here, or let me be this way, let others respond you later on.
Sir, there is an answer on Facebook again. Shall I read that out for you?
Sure.
Okay. This is from Ms. Biswas. She says, in hot weather, the sweat of the animals dry and evaporation of the sweat takes place, withdrawing the heat out of the body and thus cooling them. Do you think it makes sense?
Well, it's okay, but we are right now not on cooling. on the metabolic water how camel get.
Yes.
So basically 1 gram fat cannot give more than 1 gram anyway. So what is here happening is we have not encountered or not counted the oxygen which the camel absorb. So fat maximum has carbon and hydrogen. Oxygen is very, very less. So this oxygen joins up with hydrogen and water comes out. So they got more water from whatever fat they stored. So they do not need to drink water in 1 month time of Sahara Desert when they are walking. Is it explained that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now question 3.
Yes. Shall I present the third question?
Yeah.
Okay. So the third question is all mammals, I'm sorry. Just trying to get this.
No problem.
Yes. So the third question is, though animals may not know physics and chemistry, the nature world shows us amazing use of its principles and adaptation. Can you say which principle of physics is used by animals to cool their bodies in hot weather? So that is the question. I think we did get the answer quite some time back.
Don't tell. Let others say.
Okay. We shall wait for others also to give the answers.
Because that answer was of some other question maybe.
Okay, sir. Answer for the third one is question. Evaporation leads to cooling is the answer for the third question. That's what they say.
But you are missing one very important word, or 2 words rather.
They say sweat, evaporation. These are the words that are coming up on.
Yeah, correct. But here you should say that taking latent heat from the body. Just add that.
Okay. Latent heat.
Yeah.
Fine. So I think we are done with the 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to explain the third question, sir?
Yeah. So latent heat is that heat when the state change happens, when solid to liquid or liquid to gas, when 100 degrees Celsius water evaporates, then it takes some heat and becomes gas, that is vapor. So 100 degrees Celsius vapor is much more hot than 100 degrees Celsius water. And that heat which is entered in each molecule of that vapor is known as latent heat. Same in case of ice to water. So in this case, when evaporation is happening, then the sweat is evaporating from the body, taking heat from the body, mostly latent heat, and reducing the temperature very fast.
Wonderful. So now I will again share the screen.
Right. Shall we move to next?
Yes.
Yeah.
Combustion.
Yeah. So combustion needs 3 items. Anything when we put in fire, it takes fire. Well, remember that whenever you do this experiment, then always take adult supervision, because this experiment is something we deal with fire, which I don't want students to do that, saying Farooq sir said it and then whole house will be fire. Then your parent will call me and say, sir, what you teach my students or my kids? So beware of it. Fire is utility wise, we can use a lot of things from fire, but we should not have, we should take care, we should not misuse it. So this is just a candle, and whenever you, I put it here tripod stand, but you can use anything so that you have a stable ground. And if you keep a paper cup, what will happen to paper cup? You see, hardly 5 seconds and it's burning. Okay. But if we keep some water in it, some water in the paper cup, and then you start put on the fire, it will not burn. Why not? So you can even, well, I said it's not burn, but some smoke is coming. So it's burning, it seems. Let's see. So when you are giving water in a paper cup, why it is not burning? Well, smoke is coming, fine. Smoke is coming mostly from the outer rim, which was not attached with water. So what is happening here? Why it's not burning?
Sir, with your permission,
Yeah.
just a disclaimer, because this has got to do with fire.
Yeah.
So we thought we would like to announce a disclaimer that we also have students and teachers here. So we request all of you, if you attempt these activities, please do it under strict adult supervision.
Right.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. So here you can even boil water in a paper cup, and you can put tea bag and drink tea from that itself. Nothing is happening. Now if you see temperature, it's quite hot. It's becoming hot. So can you tell why?
Ignition temperature is not...
Don't tell. Just open that. The questions are there.
Okay, shall I open the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, I shall share my screen for the questions. Yeah, this is the items which is required. Yeah, here. So shall I read the question, sir?
Sir, I think I missed this question. So I told the question. You can repeat the question to them.
Yes. What are the first question is, what are the three elements of a fire triangle? What are the elements of a fire triangle? So looking for answers. The first question is, what are the elements of a fire triangle? Sir, the answers we are getting on Facebook is fuel, oxygen, and energy.
Fuel, oxygen,
and energy.
Energy, better we say heat.
Fuel, oxygen, and temperature is the next one.
Yeah. Better we say heat.
Oxygen, combustible substance, and heat.
Yeah, heat is the correct answer. So fuel, oxygen, and heat. So any one, if you can eliminate, you can eliminate the fire.
Yes. So can we go to the second question? Can we go to the second question?
Yeah.
So So the second question is, why do we have so many different types of fire extinguishers?
Okay.
So I think the picture also relates to it.
We will not go into that question yet. Can you come back to full screen?
Yes. 1 second, sir.
So, I forgot to add some questions about the boiling water in a paper cup. One thing you need to know is ignition temperature. What do you know about ignition temperature? What is the temperature of ignition temperature of glass, paper? Meanwhile, I am getting ready with the other experiment. That is fire extinguisher. We need baking soda, vinegar, a glass with a small candle, okay. So can anyone answer that?
Yes, sir. The answer here is temperature required to catch heat.
Okay. How much ignition temperature is of paper?
Looking for answers for. So they say the lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire.
Right. Correct.
So looking for the number.
Okay. So as we are talking about ignition temperature, let me show you another very small, simple experiment. This is my handkerchief. This is just plain water. I dip in the water. There is a candle which is lit. So the fire, which is as much as 500 degrees Celsius can become. And now I am putting this on that candle. I can see evaporation of water, but no fire. I can see some black carbon on it, but no fire. So actually, ignition temperature of cloth is also not very high, but paper is 233 degrees Celsius. If you Google it, you will find. Cloth also has more than 100 degrees to burn, but here there is water. So when you keep water in the paper cup, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, whereas paper burns at 233 degrees Celsius. So paper cannot burn if water is there. So you can have boiling water on a paper cup.
So is 480 degree Fahrenheit a correct answer, sir?
Fahrenheit, I don't know.
Okay.
You have to
Conversions.
convert to centigrade.
Yes.
So this also tells something very interesting. That suppose someone, sometimes happens to be some person deranged or some way very disturbed, they take the kerosene or something, put there in their body or some fuel, some petrol and burn themselves or something like that. Or some place where blazing fire is happening, someone comes out with all fire on the body. Best thing is, don't put any water or something, just take a wet any cloth. Best is if you have a little thick one, put it in water and put all around it. Immediately fire will be extinguished. The reason is fire burns only when ignition temperature is reached, which is much higher than water's boiling point. So you can have water boiling, but it will not take fire because it reaches up to 100 degrees, that's all. So this has reached up to 100 degrees and then water becoming evaporating. So until all water evaporate from this hanky, it will not burn. So here the answer will be that water takes heat out and so not allowing the paper to reach to ignition temperature.
Okay. Again, I'm impelled to repeat to all the new participants that have joined. It is a disclaimer that we are putting out. Please try these activities that involve fire under strict adult supervision. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks. Now the third thing which we are doing is we have baking powder, we have any wide mouth thing, even the glass will do, anything will do. You put and you need vinegar. You can do without vinegar also, you can do by water also, because in baking powder things are given such a way that it reacts with water. But best is if you use a little slight acidic thing. Even lemon juice will do. So it should not be, you see, as I said about butter, same way here, it should not be too much. You should be very cautious how much to be given. It should be hardly few millimeter layer of baking powder. The other baking powder I changed because it was here for a year or so, it become a little hard. So it should be very powdery, and then you should give very less vinegar. Now, what I am saying, because I have done many times and failed many times, so I don't want you to fail. So you give vinegar such an amount that it just wet the baking soda. After that, you can close it. Right now, I am doing it. I switched off all fan ACs, etc., because airflow may disturb it. So I suggest same you do. And also you take a candle which is a little low, not very big. So I hope you are able to see. If not, I can switch off light.
No, we can see it, sir.
Okay.
It's visible.
So now here we got baking soda and vinegar. You have to wait for about a minute. So don't hurry, take time, and after some time you will find something is happening inside, some bubbles are happening. What is happening is the question to you, which you can answer. Meanwhile, I'm going through it. So this is something here. And just as if it's water, I'm trying to pour something. Have you seen?
Yes.
Now, why this is happening? Why fire get extinguished with something here? You can go to question, it's given there. I mean, questions are there written also.
So shall I go to the question, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. I will then share my screen. Yes. Okay. So the second question is, why do we have so many different types of fire extinguishers?
Let's keep that.
Okay.
Okay. So before that question, you can tell that the question which I asked, what happened here and why fire get extinguished?
Okay. What did happen in the experiment and what was the reason for the fire to have got extinguished? Is the question. Looking for answers on both the platforms. Someone says combustion, formation of carbon dioxide.
Okay.
And looking for more answers. So. So we aren't getting any more answers.
The correct answer is that yes, carbon dioxide has been prepared, but how can we pour carbon dioxide?
So the question is, how can we pour carbon dioxide to extinguish the fire?
Yeah,
So
but yeah.
I'm looking for answers again.
So I'm doing again, whoever has not thought, look here, the gas was carbon dioxide. Oh, how can you pour it? Oh, sorry. So these are the reason we need to keep it wet instead of
So we are getting answers here. Evolution of carbon dioxide takes place. Carbon dioxide is released. Carbon dioxide gas is released.
right.
Bubbles are generated of carbon dioxide gas. Okay. CO2 is produced, which puts off the candle flame. Neutralization is happening.
No neutralization here.
Okay. So carbon dioxide. So most of the answers hover around the topic of carbon dioxide being produced.
Yeah. So vinegar and sodium bicarbonate, that is baking
I think
soda.
there is an answer towards that, sir.
Yeah.
The answer here is acetic acid reacts with sodium bicarbonate
Yes.
to release carbon dioxide gas.
Correct. But here, how can we pour it? Can any gas be poured? Just like water.
Like fluid, yes.
Yeah.
CO2 replaces oxygen and puts a fire. However, no one is mentioning about the fluidity of carbon dioxide.
So carbon dioxide actually heavier than air. So that is the reason we can pour it. But still, I suggest when you do that, whenever you pour it, be aware there is no airflow, no fan or AC or anything working, so that you can do it carefully. The carbon dioxide is heavier than air, so you can slowly pour it, and as if you are pouring some liquid. Actually, you are pouring carbon dioxide, which is heavier, and that is the reason. When we are doing it, we kept a small candle. I tried many of these, and I found large candles. So up to that, carbon dioxide cannot reach when you are doing it. So it's not extinguished. So best is if you have small candles, tea lights or something, then you pour, and then easily it covers the whole surface of that and extinguishes fire. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, now you can go to other questions.
Okay. So then, I'm just sharing the screen. So can you suggest which question we can go to, sir?
Yeah, fine. Why there's so many different types?
Okay. So the next question is the question that I've been repeating quite a few times now. Why do we have so many different types of fire extinguishers? Looking for answers. I think there is a lag between what we see on Zoom and Facebook. So
Okay.
Waiting for answers, yes.
No problem.
As to extinguish different types of fire, we need to use different types of fire extinguishers, okay? Looking for answers for this question. Why do we have so many different types of fire extinguishers? So, sir, we haven't got any.
Okay. So basically different fire extinguisher for different purpose. All has the purpose of removing one of the item at least from the fire triangle. Fire triangle needs 3 items. One oxygen, another the fuel to burn, and the third is heat. Any one, such as if you give water, what is happening here? You are reducing their temperature drastically, quickly. So naturally heat has gone. So fire cannot, ignition temperature is not reached, a fire will be extinguished quickly. So, but if there is a fire with the wires, electric wire, if you give water, with the water channel which you are giving, through that current may come and electrocute you. So you should never give water. Instead of that, you can give sand or foam or something else. Not even foam, sand. So sand is also good for fire extinguisher.
So, sir, from the Zoom platform, there is an answer here.
Okay.
Answer 2 is to extinguish different types of fire like electricity, chemicals. They come with different ratings also. A, B, C, and so on.
Yeah, true. Correct. So we have carbon dioxide one, which is very common, foam one, and many other different fire extinguisher. All has different purpose. One does quickly, one does in a elaborate fashion, in a big fire and things like that.
Yes.
Okay.
And there is another answer, if you would allow me to read out. This is from Facebook. Hello.
Yeah, carry on.
Yes, from Facebook, because anything can catch fire due to different reasons. So there are different types of fire extinguishers. Here, foam, powder, water are the different ingredients used for different types of fire, like fire from petrol, fire from electricity, and so on.
Right. Yeah. So, correct. Sorry, can you repeat once more? I was preparing the next one.
Yes, sir. Just trying to get to the answers. Yes. So it is from Preeti Goel. Because anything can catch fire due to different reasons. So there are different types of fire extinguishers here. Foam, powder, water are the different forms used for different types of fire, like fire from petrol and fire from electricity.
Right. And carbon dioxide one also mentioned?
I'm looking for a mention of CO2, sir.
So CO2 is very good thing to extinguish. Reason is it's heavier. So even if when we give lots of carbon dioxide, the place is full with carbon dioxide, so fire cannot get oxygen and extinguish quickly. And it's heavier, so it blocks. But here the only thing is, when we are doing it, there should not be cyclonic weather. The weather should be such that no airflow is there. If airflow is there, it will be removed very quickly.
Okay. Shall we then go to the third question, if you permit? Okay. Shall I read the question, sir?
Yeah.
If a person's clothes are on fire and you don't have any water nearby, what should you do? So this is a wonderful question. So if a person's clothes are on fire and you do not have any water nearby, what should you do? This is something that we all most certainly would face. So there is an answer. These are answers from Zoom chat. So the answer is cover blanket to cut off supply of oxygen. And the next answer is stop, drop, and roll.
Both is correct. Both can be done. And when you are rolling it, you are again doing the same thing. And the person who is in fire have to be very consciously doing it. not that others roll him. So when he is doing rolling, he is doing the same thing. He is removing the chance of oxygen to do the fire, I mean the combustion. And if you have very thick cloth like anything like kambal or anything, and you wrap around it, so even if water is not there, this will also cut down the oxygen.
Okay. And there is another answer. We cannot control fire from petrol by using water, since water is heavier, it will sink, leaving petrol on top and continue burning. So that's another thing. So shall we go to the next question, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. The last question for combustion is, give 3 more good practices to keep your home safe from fire. 3 good practices to keep home safe from fire. So we got an answer from chat. Home fire drill and smoke alarm. Installation of smoke alarms and conducting regular home fire drills.
Okay.
That's an answer.
One more very important but good practice.
Keep fire extinguisher from home use, for home use.
Right. Good.
So looking for more answers. Answers from Facebook do take a lot of time because of lag. Turn the regulator of LPG cylinder after use. Switch off the buttons that are not necessary for a full day's use. Windows should be wide open. Unnecessary curtain should not be used. Always cut off gas supply. Along with fire extinguishers, also keep sand in home. So someone has asked me to repeat the question. The question is on your screen. It is the 4th question. Give 3 more good practices to keep your home safe from fire. So these are majorly the answers, sir, that we see.
Yeah. Add 2 more answers to them. One is never use silk or anything, any sari when you are going in kitchen. Any synthetic dress is not to be used when you are in kitchen. I know a mishap where my friend's mother, she gone with sari, synthetic sari, and going for a cup of tea or something, and suddenly it took fire. It was a very drastic incident. So this is one thing, very, very cautious about it. No synthetic cloth when you are in kitchen, number 1. Number 2, kitchen itself is a very, very dangerous place at home. So beware that when you have gas, never have automatic lighter. Many a time it comes with automatic lighter. It's very easy, but we have kids at home, and kids are also very easy to always try to do new things. So they may switch on. And good practice is to switch off the gas at night. Also to check pressure cooker. Many a time pressure cooker's knob which clogs and bursts. So these few items in kitchen, one should be very cautious, and there should never be any curtain in the kitchen or anything which can be easily burned, paper, curtain, or things like that.
Wonderful, sir. So shall we go to the next?
Yeah.
Okay, this is about electricity, and I'm going to the main screen.
So electricity is something which we have this in many different classes. We start with 6 onwards, but electricity is the kid sees from whenever they become conscious, 4 or 5 years age, when they start poking in the plug and things like that. So be very careful. Our electricity is not very good. 220 volt is very, very high. foreign countries, especially America and UK, has reduced to 110, but we are yet to do it. But still, that is also not, I mean, it's not safe. So beware of electricity. I am doing electricity work, but I am using battery. Minimum battery which comes, very simply comes, we call normal cell or AA, which is 1.5 volt. Most of our item, electricity item works with 3 volt. So we use 2 of the batteries to make it 3 volt. So I got a battery holder, but if you don't have, very simply, you can just put one behind other. Okay. By the way, I am sure you know, but still I am saying, you know which is plus and which is minus. So plus side is where knob is, and minus side is where flat. So if you do not have the battery holder, you can simply put one against other and put sellotape. This will work as battery holder. But here, for the convenience sake, I use this battery holder. And here, I got 2 wires. So when we attach the wires, this will be working, and this we can check with LED. So simply, when we attach the wires, well, time is less, so what I can do is I can show you something which is already attached. Just so basically, yeah, basically electric circuit we can easily make. Sorry for the less time. So this is the battery box. I hope you can see. This is the wire which is coming here, and here so first you should do normal circuit, that is only one. Now circuit means actually circle. So circuit should be complete. There should not be any detachment. Here, for the sake of it that we are doing something at home hands-on activity, so I have used just Jens clip as switch. So the moment we attach one with other, we got a connection. So here, first you should do with one, then you cut the wire and attach 2. Now this these are holder and the small bulb, which nowadays you may find easily, but if you don't find, not to worry, buy cheapest quality of torch, 60 rupees or something it comes, and you can open up and find all the items in 2-3 torch. So basically this simple wire, when you attach with, you got a connection. The moment you connect one, you will get a circuit. Now this advantage of this is so first you should check with LED whether it's working or not. Many a time battery does not work. And then when you attach the wire, I have taken help of my helping hand as time was less, and you can see whether light is coming up to here or not. Then you can attach one holder with a bulb. Now this, every connection is, there may be a loose connection. So be aware that the connection, total circuit is complete. The moment it's complete, when I do hands-on activity with the students, when I go myself offhand, I mean not online, offline, then when they have made the circuit, I just take a scissor and cut in between. They were screaming, "Arey, light was on, why you cut it?" I said, now you use these 2 wires as switch, and you can put in between anything and see whether it is insulated or not. it is conductor or insulator. For example, you take a plastic, put in between, and you find it's not giving light. But if you take a metal, put it in between, you will find the light is on. I hope you can see.
Yes. Yes, yes,
So,
we can.
this way you can use in class 6 or below to show insulator and conductor, also to show electric circuit. Now, the first thing in the circuit, remember, we have from plus electricity is coming. That is what told once upon a time, and name stuck. Plus remain plus. But now we know electricity is flow of electron, and electrons are negatively charged. So actually, electrons are coming from negative, minus to plus. Anyhow, so first you make a normal circuit, that is just a wire connect to a light. Okay, I hope you are able to see.
Yes, sir, clear.
After that, cut here any one and remove the wires, the naked wire. You know this, why these are also, they will learn that these are insulated things, the covering of plastic. And the moment you touch two wires, it's lighting the light, so it itself works as switch. Now some person tried with, when we were doing in one of the school, some person tried with I don't know the current one, the previous 100 rupee note. There was a small metallic something in between.
There's a strip, yes.
We put both sides and found it's metal. It's conducting. You can try with pencil also, cut both sides, it conducts. But I found some pencil does not, because of maybe it's mixed with something else, not pure graphite. So best is if you take the lead of the pencil of some of the pencil which is automatic pencil. Okay, so you got a switch here. You can use this or you can use the James clip, this one. This is better, but here remember this 3 volt and very low current, it's easy to handle. There is no problem as such. Still you take care, do in adult supervision. Here light is sorry. Here light is much more, because this is only one. The moment we do two, which I was showing before. The moment I do two, which is parallel, sorry, which is we call series, then light is low. Light is quite low compared to the previous one, because it divided the electricity, the voltage is divided into two. Now here the disadvantage is, if you open up one, it will stop the other. So if there is any problem in one of the light, it stops all other light in the series. Okay. Now we are coming to another type of thing we call parallel. Parallel is nothing but one line going here, and from here another line is coming. So when you switch on one is switched on, and from there parallelly next is switched on. Then you can have one more. And here advantage is any one, if there is not working, other is no effect. Still current goes there. So now, can we go to question?
Yes, sir. I will quickly share my screen for the questions. So, yes, the first question is, how many sources of electricity can you name?
Before that, can you go back to the previous slide? I forgot to show the slide.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here, you see here, this is the simple circuit which you should do first time and then cut this to show the switch. I hope you can see the arrow.
Yes.
This simple circuit is very necessary. First thing they should do is simple circuit. Then you cut there, put a switch or make some type of switch. Please go back. And we can move this. Yeah. After that, you put this as a series. So when you cut second time, you can put the second bulb to make it a series connection, which is common in Diwali rites and something. But this is what we call parallel. From the source, one light, one thing on here, and another parallelly. You see, this is why we call parallel. And this is what this circuit is. Yeah. So this I should have shown when I was doing it, but it's okay when it is online. Yeah.
Can we go to the questions, sir?
Right.
Yes. So shall I read out the first question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first question is, how many sources of electricity can you name? I repeat, how many sources of electricity can you name? So we've got an answer from just looking for answers. I think there is an answer from, yes. Okay. On Zoom, we've got a lot of answers. Thermal power plant. Okay. Thermal electricity, hydroelectricity, solar and wind. These are the answers that we've got. Solar.
Okay. Wind.
Solar. Wind, thermal, hydro, and solar.
More to come. Let's see.
Yes. Mechanical.
Yeah.
Someone has added mechanical to Ms. Sakshi. Nuclear.
When you are riding cycle, you are making dynamo, right? That way. Yeah.
And the next one is nuclear. Ms. Raksha is given the answer, nuclear.
Two more I can remember.
Okay. We've got two more answers to be given. Thermal is already been given. So biomass.
You are saying the gobar gas sort of.
Yes.
Not biomass, exactly. Yeah.
They mentioned biomass here. Magnet. Someone is Tariq is given magnet.
No, magnet as such cannot give, but okay. Geothermal energy, and that is from volcanic energy, also tidal energy. Okay. Can we go to the next question?
Yes, the next question is, name two devices that work on the principle that electricity creates magnetism in magnetic materials. So I shall repeat the question again. Name two devices that work on the principle that electricity creates magnetism in magnetic materials. Looking for answers. Someone has written generator. Ms. Raksha is given the answer generator. Bullet trains.
Yes.
Bullet trains and generator. There are two answers here.
Bullet train, which type of train?
Bullet train.
How it works?
Looking for explanation now. Waiting for answers. So. Electric bell. Okay, so the answer for bullet train, Tariq has given us the rail on which it runs is magnetic.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Tariq says the rail on which the bullet train runs is magnetic.
In fact, that's good, very good. In fact, there is two magnets. One which is working on the rail, which become magnetized, and another bullet train itself on that. So it has a levitation, ring magnet, levitation. It floats on air. So both magnet repulse, both have same pole. So it has nearly zero resistance, only air resistance. So it goes very fast. Yes, about hopefully Bombay to Ahmedabad it may start.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Third question.
shall we go to the last question for this evening? Yes. So what type of connection do we have, do we commonly find in a household electric circuits? And to your answer, also justify why. So the question I repeat is, what type of connection do we commonly find in a household electric circuits? And if you're giving an answer, please justify why.
So you have to say series or parallel.
Yes. So on Zoom, we've got the answers. Two, in fact, parallel.
Yeah.
Ms. Raksha and Ms. Sushmita parallel. Tariq says AC.
Yeah. Why?
Why? So we are waiting for the explanation to be typed. Don't know. Okay.
Okay. Can you go back to the previous slide?
Yes, sir. Sure.
There is the explanation. In fact, I have
Yes.
given the hint.
We are on the previous slide.
Yeah. So here you see it's parallel connection. So they are getting current. Both the light or whatever light we have in our house, they get from main two wires. One wire taking the current in, another wire taking the current back to the mains. This wire we call live wire, another one we call neutral wire. Sometimes we add third one which goes directly to the earth. We call earthing. So the advantage here is if any one of the appliance is not working, other will still be normal and working. Whereas if you do in series, number one here, the voltage will be low. So as you keep on adding, it will become lower and lower and lower and lower. Number two, if any one is not working, the whole thing will stop. So you have no idea that your TV is not working, and that is why your fridge is also not working. Something like that. So we always keep at our home in parallel connection. Thanks, answer was correct, but explanation you need.
Okay. So I invite Ms. Rageshri Niyogi to give a vote of thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Shrikant. Thank you, Mr. Farooq. It was a wonderful session. And I think we covered a topic each from physics, chemistry, and biology. So, and we got to see some, really good experiments that can be carried out at home, but under adult supervision. So that is something that we have to keep in mind. So thank you so much. And thank you to all the participants. I really hope that you had a great time and you enjoyed the sessions as much as we did bringing it to you. And Mr. Farooq, thank you again. So thank you, everyone, and have a good evening. Thank you very much.